Hello, everybody. This is Corbenik, and today we are here with
Perfect
Cheese.
6-3.
people who like to combo break each other.
Yes.
Yes. Gردette 14 is here as well.
And Shadow Wolf.
And the new one is cheese.
And then over
Cheese.
over on Cloud9.
And
Yes, our guests tonight are the Big Cheese, as he's called on our Skype contact for some reason,
And
and
Burke
Shadow Wolf
163.
87.
I thought Shadow Wolf was a permanent part of this now.
I don't know if he is or not. Okay, I'm confused. Anyway,
You said
today
it.
we are going to be reviewing for this week. We are reviewing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance as chosen by Corb.
Which I loved. I loved it.
Uh, um, Burke didn't actually play the game, so
Yes, I did.
Neither have I.
I
Burke
played
played about half an hour worth of the game.
it. No,
Anyway.
more like 40 minutes. Get your facts
Yes,
straight.
40
Gordette.
minutes worth of the game.
But I guess as we do with everyone, we start with the negativity.
Yes.
I mean, one of the things I did find negative is it is a tactics game, so it can get kind of dull at first. I mean, and there's not really much of a story to it either. It's just it's an interesting game, but in the same sense, it's really kind of dull.
Right.
And it's very long. I think it's too
When
long.
you start, you don't really jump into it.
Yeah,
It takes
it's
a little
slow
while.
Game. Who's talking on the Skype chat?
Blame
You know,
Burke.
But I gotta
Good cheese.
agree with you guys saying that it's very slow to start, but I don't really find that to be as much negative as the game actually goes on. It's a slow start to actually introduce you to this type of combat that you'll actually be doing. Although I think Fire Emblem handled it a bit better.
Fire
At least
Emblem is a
Sacred Stone
totally
did.
different type game.
Not really.
Yes,
If you
really.
actually
Pretty
played,
similar.
if you actually played Path of Radiance and Sacred Stones, they function almost exactly like this.
I did not play either one of those. I don't believe.
I played Fire Emblem a few times.
What
So-
my question right now that I think is on the viewers' minds is what is Final Fantasy Tactics Advance?
Tactics Advance is a spiritual sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics. It's not a direct sequel. It's not, a continuation of the same story. It was more of like a reimagining of the Tactics game for the PlayStation 1. It's a, as you would guess, tactics. I don't know what the genre would be called. Strategy?
So
Advance Wars.
turn-based strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's turn-based
Advanced
strategy.
Wars.
Yeah.
I usually refer to games like this as tactics games because
It's a
Final Fantasy
turn-based
Tactics was
tactics.
one of the first one. Final Fantasy Tactics was one of the first games that had this kind of system. And then
Well,
other
not
games-
really, but
Well,
we'll
no,
go
I
with
mean
it.
one of the more famous ones.
It's more popular for using this style of combat system,
Yeah.
but is by no means original.
I know
believe-
it's not original, but it was like the first one that came to the popular eye because it was a Final Fantasy title.
This is a Final Fantasy game, yes.
Yeah.
It's a turn-based
Just like a
tactics
Mystery
video game.
Dungeon
That
did
is
with
what the genre
roguelikes.
is.
Yes. And I mean, it plays like you think it would, but it's just there's a sense of it's always the battles always seem to be the same, different enemies, but same thing over and over again.
Which actually leads me into both counterpoint and another con. I don't think that the battles are the same over and over, but this is because of the way that the judging system in this game
Yeah.
works.
Well,
Whenever you engage in combat, you are relegated by certain, at least seemingly randomly generated rules. These can limit your these can either limit your command options, what you can equip on your characters, and what you can actually successfully do in the context. If you refuse to follow by these rules, you will either get a red or yellow card. Yellow cards can be paid off by going to the prison system, which costs like $1,000 and leaves your party member out for a whole week. And if a red card instantly sends your character to jail, and I don't actually know what it does there because I didn't actually experiment with that. But I find that that maneuvering your builds and your strategies around the judging system really does actually change the way that you interpret the combat.
yeah, because
you can easily get a good enough setup to pretty much have all situations covered.
Because I'm one of those people that don't check the law. Because you can check the law before you start a battle and during the battle, and I usually don't check it before the battle. So, if one of the laws is you can't use, swords, I don't look at that before the battle starts, and I end up bringing in 2 or 3 swordsmen, and then they're useless.
Not paying attention.
Yeah, that's me being dumb.
Yeah, you should pay attention to that part.
Yeah.
Well, the object of the game, it's based over like hundreds of battles, right? Some quest based and others are like random battles.
Well,
Yeah.
Not necessarily random.
not random, but
like
yeah.
random.
It's kind of like a wild battle in Pokemon. It's just that
Except
you
you choose-
Don't go hitting on Pokemon, will you?
I like Pokemon.
Is it like Pokemon like that?
No, not
No,
at all.
no, not at all.
That was just a terrible reference by me. I mean, there aren't really random battles. I mean, you can you get to pick what battles you want to do, except sometimes you will get into a clan battle, which clans will randomly start appearing on the world, and if you happen to be on the same spot as them, you have to start a clan battle. Well, not always.
Thankfully, you can maneuver your character around on the hub because there isn't an actual world map. Well, there is a world map, and it's more of a hub than it actually is a traversable world.
Yeah,
That's really another con that we, as a group, technically have. I'm not sure if Shadow feels this way, but the lack of an actual explorable overworld really does seem to hinder the game experience. The reason it's there, though, is because as you progress through the story, you end up being able to place locations in certain areas. So it makes sense that the overworld is not explorable, but it does definitely subtract from the overall experience.
No, I will agree with you about that. That certainly does set limitations.
I mean,
So does that make it different from other Final Fantasy games?
way different.
Yes, way.
Except Final Fantasy 13. It's linear, and it's a very linear game.
Except 13, you can actually move around and explore to a certain extent
At
your
the
environments.
end of the game, after you're like 12 hours through the game.
Yeah, but it seems in Tactics that you really don't have a lot of movement. For the most part, you're going through the menu systems.
It's extremely linear. It's not a free roam game. It's you take mission, go to spot where mission is, complete mission, do it again. Well, kind of.
Which leads into a con that Corb has already brought up. This game can be and really is incredibly repetitive if you choose to see it that way. I personally don't see it as repetitive as Corb sees it because, again, as I mentioned, the judge system, the different the job system in this game. Although I gotta disagree with how it's implemented, I enjoy messing around with it.
Personally, I played Final Fantasy games a few times, but I always got bored after an hour or 4 or something, just because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. But maybe that's just my mindset. I just like to do a bunch of
You're
different
not alone
stuff.
in that.
It's mine's too.
A lot of mainstream players, a lot of mainstream hardcore gamers, simply cannot finish a Final Fantasy game because it's like been doing the same shit I've been since I started this game. How long do I have to do this yet? 38 more hours.
Case in point.
I'm out of here.
Case in point.
Corb.
Case in
Okay,
point
I thought
me.
you were gonna mention. God damn it! I'm going to beat 6. I'm going to beat it.
What?
Eventually.
We believe in you.
Running joke of the
bet you all
so
do.
far, Burke still has not finished FF6,
He's
even
been
though
he's
working
been trying to
at it
play
since,
for a year or 2 now.
It hasn't been a year or 2. It's been
a
like
year.
9 months,
9
10,
months.
maybe 11
2
months,
years later.
maybe 12 months. I'm not sure.
Maybe a year.
Don't go talking
Maybe a
Dutch
year.
on here.
But the most repetitive thing I found about it though is, oh no wait, one of the more repetitive things I saw was having to keep on re-equipping your party members because I mean after a couple arcs, it's expected your party is going to need better armor. But I find it repetitive in the sense that in order to get it's kind of like the Oh, what game? Final Fantasy 9 type system, where your items they give you AP points or whatever, and
Ability points.
yeah, ability points,
Ability points.
Why do I know that?
and you use those points. You don't use them, but you get points, and once you master something, you know that skill without having to use the armor anymore. And I mean, I don't mind that because I had to do that all throughout Final Fantasy 9. But in Tactics, it's like if you're not using an emulator, which we don't condone, that uses a speed
No,
up
we do not.
feature,
I do.
which uses a speed up feature, battles can take an upwards length of 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I've had
I also
battles go between 30 and 40.
I had this problem myself when I was playing this on my Game Boy when I was on a bus. Is that I wish I'm like, you know what? I wish I had an emulator. This is really kind of slow. I wish I could use the speed up feature.
Oh, I'd imagine it would be extraordinarily tedious. And from what I understand, because of the ability point system, the game requires you to grind because carrying the items that give you the abilities is cumbersome. Am I right?
Not exactly,
No.
Cloud. Again, Cloud didn't actually play along with us, but that's to be expected. The real thing about the inventory system, this is technically a con, but it's also a huge pro. You do not have a limited inventory system. You can seriously have 99 of every single item in game, and it won't actually affect the game at all. The thing is, thank God for the sort feature, because I went
sort's
through the
amazing.
first half of my playthrough not sorting out my items, and going through the inventory menu without that sort feature is a pain in the ass.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Well, I think I got you guys confused. When I said cumbersome, I mean like not like the items are wearing you down. I'm saying like there's a disadvantage to having items equipped to your characters needlessly,
Well-
or when it could be
Well,
needless.
that's why you
There-
switch out equipment.
Yeah.
You continue. There's a lot of micromanaging going on in this game,
It-
and
it-
go Corb.
I was just gonna say it really depends on how you want to play through the game because usually the items, usually like the weapons that don't have an ability to them, they usually do a lot more damage because they don't have anything additional to them. And
That's not necessarily true, Corbin. You know it.
well, for the
There
longest time, the weapon I was using was a lot stronger than my other weapons, but it had no power to it. And I
Yeah, the
eventually-
glaze sword.
yeah, and then I eventually got to the point where I was like, no, I need to start learning some abilities, so I had to cut my attack power down a little bit. But then I realized once you go up a couple arcs, the weapons get a lot more stronger, and a lot of the strong weapons do have abilities on them now, and they make
So basically, it's like 13, where you might have a weapon that's stronger than the other one, but the other one is more customizable. And after a few levels, that weapon becomes stronger, and you see the upside to it.
kind of, except that you don't ever upgrade weapons. I don't think, at least.
Which is something that it's a good thing that it's not here, but I would have appreciated if it was here. I mean, consider an item crafting system where you get the short sword that you start off with, and I know that they did this in 10, where you could actually upgrade your weapons and give them different abilities. I've toyed around a little bit with it in 10. I don't really like it, mind you, but it's there. But if you had the ability to increase the powers of your weapons and give them other job skills that you could learn off of them, you would never actually need to switch weaponry.
Yeah.
Which is true, yeah.
Wait, doesn't a weapon have like limited slots for upgrades?
No, actually.
Not in this one.
There isn't an upgrade system in this game. It's a good thing that it's not here because you could seriously bust the game really early if there was.
Oh yeah. Because you
I will
just-
say though, is that even though what you guys have been saying it's all pretty much true, but like as you progress through the game and your party gets larger, it almost doesn't matter as much.
Oh wait, and another thing I'd like to bring up as a con. It can be seen as a con or a pro. I hate getting when you go. There's two different types of missions. There's a mission that you do, and then there's what are they called, Gerdat?
There are several different types of missions.
I mean,
you
the-
haven't played.
So the one
Like a
there
quest?
What Corb is trying to explain is the dispatch mission.
yeah, dispatch rather, yeah. After
Now,
dispatch
what a
mission,
dispatch
you have
mission-
shut up, Gerdat. I'm trying to explain something. After a dispatch mission, there's a chance that a random person will try and join your party, and that's nice and all. Except it gets to the point where you have like 40 black mages, 50 white mages, 30,000 thieves, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with all these? I mean, I used one of the thieves or archers or whatever to go through all my dispatch missions because, in all honesty, to just do a dispatch mission, it can really be any level character from what I've played, and then you just get really great equipment on them, and they can pretty much go through a couple arcs just completing every dispatch mission.
Yeah.
While you are accurate with this, Corb, you're way off base because you do have a clan limit. This game works on a clan-based system, and there is a limit to how many party members you can actually have. I've noticed this.
Well, there
because
better
I haven't
be.
actually recruited anybody since about the end of the third Dotema. I haven't been able to recruit anybody, and I've been doing a lot of missions. So, yeah, I should actually have a few of my lower members that I have no uses for leave the clan. I don't want to. They're cool. They've been with me for so long.
Also, another downside for the game, I hate those puppy-type creatures in the world.
Don't go hating on puppies.
Why do you hate the new moves?
They're just dumb. They need to
Don't go hating on puppies. Puppies are cute.
That's not really a downside to the game.
There's a downside. They're stupid.
Yeah, that's just your personal opinion.
No, it's a downside.
I think Corb is
But I
just a
do have another
butthurt scrub.
downside I'd like to touch on. Now,
Those puppies
we've already
are the
touched
devil's
on-
minions.
Are there even? Are there also kittens in there?
No, no kittens.
Boo.
well,
So
I guess you
we've
could-
been going on about cons for a while. Why don't we talk about some of the pros?
Oh, I could.
I
Good
got
idea.
One other big con that I need to get out of the way, Shadow.
Okay.
Pessimist.
Alright, we touched on the job system in this
Before
game
lack of
and
Pokemon.
how I'm not actually, I'm not actually a fan of how the job system in this works. It works like the way it does, and I'm fine with it. It's iffy, but I'm okay with it. What I really don't like, however, is that most of the jobs in this game aren't actually all that powerful, and the few jobs that are powerful are frickin' busted.
White Mage.
Yes,
Like
white
mage.
If you want to go grind for any reason at all, equip white magic onto any character and sit down for an hour, and you can gain anywhere between 5 to 10 levels an hour on
Yeah.
that
This
character.
is very true.
Because
White magic is just so it is really powerful in this game.
Oh,
Because-
by the way, I think I just noticed I actually played the game once.
oh, did you?
Yeah, I guess. It's just so long ago that I barely remember anything from it.
The reason why White Mages are so powerful is because to get experience in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, you do anything except moving, like attacking an enemy, curing, doing magic, anything, and you get experience. Now with the White Mage, in the beginning of the game, your White Mage will most likely 99% of the time be your highest level character, because you just cast Cure every turn, even if it's on yourself, and you'll gain experience. And
Especially if it's on yourself.
and I know what Gerdat was doing is he was having his party members attack each other, and then he'd just heal them up with the White Mage, and he'd get experience grinding off of it. I mean, that's a viable option, though, because your characters will never do enough damage that they'll kill each other, and then you can just keep on re-healing them, and, that's instantly, what is it, like 10 turns you'll gain a level?
Yeah,
That's
because
mean.
every time a white mage heals himself or any character, you gain experience based on the level
Amount
of
of
the thing
field.
that you're actually acting upon. If it's if it's something that's your level, it's 10 experience. And every level or so below that, you lose. If you lose one level, it goes down by 2 experience, and so on and so forth. And it goes all the way down to 1 experience. But every level that you go above that, you actually gain experience. So I had a level 20 white mage, and I didn't even really notice it because it really happened. It happened really quickly for me. And all my other guys are like between 10 and 12, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can abuse this. So I just started having my characters melee my white mage and have him heal every turn. He keeps
You like
going
abusing
up really
white mages,
fast,
don't
and
you?
all of my party members are gaining 20 experience a turn. They're going up really quickly.
Yeah.
I had almost a whole party of level 15 plus characters before the second Totema. We'll get into those later.
Yeah. Now,
Yes, we will.
Now that I don't think there is any more downsides that anybody can.
Well, there are. We're just not going to touch on them.
Well,
Pro time.
just so we can, put the white mage
Yeah.
thing to rest. It doesn't make it. Is it so bad that like it feels like doing anything other than spamming the white mage healing spells just seems kind of pointless?
No, but
It's
it
not
makes the
that
game
bad,
so much
but
easier.
it's close.
It makes
It
the
is
game
very
so
close.
much more easier. It just because your mages really do have, and it's pretty much an infinite source of magic. They never use that much magic that you'll ever run out, really.
Because the
Ooh.
way that the mana regen system in this the mana regen system in this game works like this: you do your turn, and at the end of that turn, you have you have an ending stat. Going into your next turn, you automatically gain 5 MP, regardless if you need it or not.
Yep. Well,
Because the basic cure spell only costs 6 MP, you pretty much have 100 turns, even with your lowest level, even with a low level white mage, to you can literally cast cure 100 times and not run out of mana,
and
which would give you 10 levels.
the thing is, your level crosses over when you change a class, so you could effectively fight a low level mission or low level clan, make the five out of your 6 members white mages, and grind up that way, and then just switch back over to the class that you actually want them to be, and that's just the easiest way to grind. It really is. It's kind of sad because it's such an abusable system if you really feel like doing that.
But
we have hard
I mean,
mode
how long did it take you guys to figure that out, though?
Very
I
early,
figured it out
beginning
really
game,
early.
beginning game, because you notice that your white mage is leveling up, every freaking, it's leveling up once or twice per match, while your other characters maybe once per match, maybe not even that. You're like, I don't understand what's happening. Why is my white mage getting so much experience? And then you realize it's because he's doing something every single turn, and it could be with multiple targets. So that's why.
Yeah, it's pretty abusable.
It really is. Definitely late game when you start fighting, not late game, but later game when you start fighting some higher leveled enemies. You can just start, it's just ridiculous. You could just, any class late game is easy to do, because when you start fighting higher leveled enemies, as Gerrit says, you start getting more experience on what you hit them by, and it's just such an abusable system. I don't think that they expected for that to actually be like it is, but if I were to change my white mage into, let's say a paladin, he'd be one broken paladin right now. But aside,
We have harped on the cons of this game
yeah.
a bit too long.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that this is a podcast of haters. Everybody's thinking.
No, there's actually a lot of good stuff to
There's a
say
lot of
about
good
it.
stuff about the game, and one of the biggest.
And for the final 5 minutes of the podcast, let's talk about the
5
good
minutes.
parts.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a little bit longer. We started late.
One of the things I really liked about the game is, I actually, for 8-bit music, I actually really enjoyed the soundtrack that went with the game.
Yeah, it was good music.
It was very good.
A lot of it's very relaxing. Like it's a very chill game. It's a game that you want to play like when it's late night and you just want to relax and lay down. You can just sit down with your Game Boy that you actually own in real life, and
Yes.
just sit there and just lay down and play it for, you could probably sit down and play
Like
it for
me.
an hour or two. It's a very enjoyable game to play. It's a very relaxing game to play.
And
I was sitting
before
on a bus.
Tonberry rage mode get.
I was sitting on the bus.
Go ahead and bring up the Tonberry. The Tonberry is the most
Before I'm actually going
ridiculous
to
thing I've
download it and play it on my Nintendo DS.
The Tonberry is just like, oh look, knife, instant kill, get at me, bro. And then I throw my Game Boy across the room. I'm like, oh.
Game Boy is
But
better than
Tonberries are like that in all iterations. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be like that.
Hey, is this still the pro side?
Yes, it's pros, but
Yes,
we're not talking about the Tonberry. We're talking about the music.
Oh, right.
which is
I like
great.
8-bit music.
The music.
Yeah, I was sitting on the bus with the music on, and it was very relaxing with my Turtle Beaches on. I mean, headset. I mean, my headphones on. And it was a very relaxing music. I was very relaxed.
It was a very relaxing music. English
It
by
was
Burke.
yes. I will soon have my own podcast where I will teach you all English.
But it's not like most other Game Boy Advance game music where you're like, oh look, slopped on music. Great. Was this soundtrack done by Ubi Uematsu?
Who's
Nobuo
that?
Uematsu, and I don't
No.
think so, but it probably was.
I'm pretty
It
sure-
has Final Fantasy
Actually-
in the title. It's probably
No,
Nobuo Uematsu.
because he didn't do the soundtrack for 13. He's not there anymore.
It was composed by Hitoshi Sakimoto.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Okay,
thought you were
what
going
about-
to say
And-
John Williams.
Oh,
John
damn it! I missed an opportunity for another inside joke.
Speaking of inside jokes, how's Final Fantasy 6 going, Burke?
It's going great. It's I beat Cheddar Nook and I advanced 5 feet after fighting Cheddar Nook.
But another good thing I like, I actually the graphics are very colorful. For
I gotta say, the graphical style in this game is actually very good, especially for.
It is a very nice looking game. It is a very nice
like
looking
the
game.
sprite.
I say that about Shining Force as well. So
Of course, this is a much better looking game than freaking Gunstar. Whatever.
now I'm not gonna say it's better than Gunstar because I liked Gunstar. Damn it.
It's terrible.
We know you do, Kurt.
I mean, there's just
Yeah,
something.
no one else does.
There's just something about the graphics that it just felt like that. Oh no, computer, don't go into hibernation. No. Okay, sorry.
Gotta keep touching that mouse.
I know. I have my hand on the mouse now, but there's just something about the graphics that's like I could look at those. I could just look at that game for a couple hours, and my eyes wouldn't be all red from like. Well, they would be red from looking at my
From
obviously
GBA.
ultra bright, high resolution Game Boy Advance screen, but it's just like
Just stretch it out.
They don't feel like they make my eyes strain so hard. They're colorful, but they're not like vibrant to the part where you're like, oh my god, why am I watching a rainbow?
It's
Rainbows. Never mind that.
I just feel like they implemented the graphical and audio style very well for the game. Because
Well, it's the thing that the game is really colorful. It is a really colorful and vibrant game.
it is a dark. It's not very a dark game though. I mean,
Well, it's a lighthearted. It's a really lighthearted game.
I mean, there's definitely bad stuff in the game, but it's not. It's not like they make it like all the other Final Fantasy games where it's impending doom everywhere. It's more of a look, there's bad stuff in the world, but it's all right because you're in a clan. You're fighting other.
It's
clans
a magical
and-
world.
You're fighting with friends.
Yes,
It's a very
that's practically it.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Friendship.
It's a very
Friendship.
I'd say that
the
until you
game likes to go in the fantasy world.
Well, I'd say that until you get to the totemas, and then you're like, there's underlying darkness in the world. Here we go.
Turn
again.
up marker. I'm
Well, for the
accepting.
most part, I really believe that this
Revolving
game
around
is.
the Totemas, did you, Corb?
Huh?
You didn't read any of the story revolving around the Totemas, did you?
No. I didn't get to that point.
Anyway, I guess since I'm the only one that actually paid attention other than Shadow Wolf, I gotta say I'm enjoying the story so far in this game. Unfortunately, Shadow Wolf is the only one here who's actually played and beat the game multiple times,
Me
and I'm the farthest of the rest of the group.
I mean, me and Gerda
I'm-
tried our hardest, but we soon found it evident that this game couldn't really be completed in a week unless we played it non-stop. And I mean, it's a great game. I have a feeling I'm actually still going to go through it once we're still done this episode of the podcast for it, because originally I picked it out and. Not everybody was really excited. Gerda was like, meh. He's like, I'm only doing it to really play the game. And I asked him today, and he's like, I'm actually enjoying the game. I'm probably actually going to finish it. I was like, yes, I get to pick a game next time.
Yeah, it's a good
Unfortunately, you have a
game.
really busy life.
I'm not banned from picking games. Like Gerda or Bert.
I'm not banned. What are you talking
You are
about?
banned.
Everybody
I don't
loved
know. I
Outer
think I
Road.
think we gave Cheese a little glimmer of hope last time.
What?
Well, I'm happy because, I'm not going to be here for the next podcast, so I don't have to play the trolley game he picks out. Who's mad now?
Why won't you be here next week?
I'm going to New York. But that's besides the point.
Okay.
Another thing I really did like about the game is the story. The story, which it's a very light story. It's not it's not like just thrown onto you like Final Fantasy 1, where you just start on a castle. Hey, go check out this castle up to the north, and all of a sudden they dump a huge story on you. Garland, it's Garland. Now you have to save the world in 10 minutes.
I actually heard garlic there.
Garland.
It's garlic.
Garland.
You have to stop the vampires.
Okay, never mind
Terrible
me.
jokes are terrible. You guys are terrible.
Anyway, so the story is basically some kids.
Don't
They're
even explain it. You didn't even play 10 minutes.
I can explain the first 10 minutes.
Save the
Yes,
extended story.
Yeah, so it's about some boys, some
I think
kids.
Shadow should explain it because he's actually beating the game.
Do it.
I've actually played it.
Shadow, would you like to put some light on it?
I can put a little light on it. I mean, I
And
haven't
he
played
comes
it in a
back.
while, but yeah, the story is pretty basic. It's about this. Can't remember the name of the person, but
Marsh.
like,
Marsh.
yeah, Marsh. That's right. But he goes into this little story world pretty much after like the intro.
Heard the story is called Final Fantasy.
I heard it's kind of like never-ending story in that regard.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, kind of, where like he gets there and like there's this little
Moogle.
there's this little Moogle and he's like, hey, Capo, and he's talking to him and
Capo.
everything.
Capo?
It's Kupo.
Kappa?
Kappa?
Kupo.
I'm combo breaking Shadow so hard right
But
now.
anyway,
Yeah, I
like,
know. So, go on.
And the guy's name is Mom Plank, who is also a character in the manga.
There's a manga?
A
well,
robot.
that's interesting.
No, manga called Pluto by...
Okay, that's enough of you, Bert.
Shut up. Everybody on this
Go on,
podcast
Cloud.
can't.
Go on,
But
Cloud.
basically
Not Cloud,
he's
Shadow.
like playing through the game to like get back, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the basic premise. Other things are his two friends, the girl whose name I will not remember for the life of me.
Ritz.
What?
Ritz.
Ritz, yeah,
Ritz.
Ritz and Moot.
Moot.
Yes.
Moot, lol.
Moot.
Mind if I actually go ahead and spoil a bunch of story here?
I
Go
was going
for
to do
it.
it.
I'd rather you not. I'm gonna try and finish the game, but go. Well, I probably know most of it anyway. Go ahead.
Alright, the story goes like this. Marsh and gang end up trapped in the world of Final Fantasy because Moot was able to use the book called Final Fantasy in order to create his perfect world. One where he is the prince of the royal family. His father is in fact an incredibly charismatic and strong leader known as Judge Master Sid, and his mom is not actually dead. In the real world, because Mute's mom died, Mute's dad is incredibly depressed and stopped actually caring about most things in life, making him incredibly unhappy. Ritz is a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series, and when she actually comes into the world, she is having the time of her fucking life.
Yeah, she doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, and Marsh, seeing both of these cases as cases of escapism, is saying, you know what, no, we have to go back to the real world and face our problems. Of course, Ritz is like, are you fucking nuts? And Mute is like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
One of them goes Cypher from the Matrix.
No, Mute just...
No, not
Mute,
like that.
Mute's just like... Mute got on my nerves, just because every time... Oh, Gerda, keep on explaining the story and then I'll bring it up.
Alright, throughout the world, oh, by the way, coincidentally, both the real world and the Final Fantasy world are called Ivalice.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't exactly know why, and Ivalice will return in other installments. Anyway, throughout the world of Ivalice, there are crystals. These crystals are the main source of magic and life throughout the entirety of Ivalice. They also support each of the races, and each of the crystals pretty much holds the stability of Ivalice in itself. So, after accidentally stumbling across one of the crystals, Marsh decides that if destroying the crystals actually helps break the fabric of Ivalice, that means he can eventually peel back the Final Fantasy Ivalice and go back to the real world.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like this. It's like a...
Each of the crystals is again supported by an own race, and each race has its own totema. Totemas are the guardians of the crystals, and upon defeating each crystal, Marsh will actually gain access to another totema. pretty much like the summoning rituals in Final Fantasy X, except there's only 5 instead of like what was it, 8, 10? I
Yeah.
don't know.
There's only 5 totemas.
Yeah, there's only 5 totemas, 1 for each race.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Moogle. Wait, what are the 5 races? Moogle.
The
human-
5 races are Viera, which are the rabbit-eared chicks, which are supposedly sex appeal. The humans, which are
No, they definitely are.
which
They definitely
your
are.
standard run-of-the-mill
Furries.
standard run-of-the-mill
The
dudes.
puppies.
Your
Puppies.
Numus, which are technically your sage-like aged peoples.
They're
your
puppies.
Moogles are your cute. Oh my God, I want to take it home. Which
Oh
are your hard-
God.
and
We have been infiltrated by Higurashi.
mangas, which are your hardened like warrior tribe.
So we got the puppies, the rabbits, the Moogles, which are
The kittens.
cats,
The furries.
and the humans,
fur-
and the
I hear
Bongas, which are lizards.
I hear
And the people with
furries, old
fetish.
people, warriors.
And the
Are you a wizard?
Well, one thing I do want to bring up though, when you beat a Totema, yeah, like Arda says, you get like a summon. The first Totema summon you get is so ridiculously overpowered. I swear to God.
Same with the third. I haven't checked out the fourth yet, but
The
the
first
first
one.
and third totemas are field nukes, and they are incredibly
Gerda-
powerful.
Yeah,
Gerda
yeah,
beat
yeah,
the-
they're amazing.
Gerda picked the second Totema with one blast of the first Totema, which is an all-field nuke, and it's ridiculous. But that's besides the point. It's supposed to be ridiculous. Oh
Yeah, it's supposed
that's
to be.
another thing we never brought up: the judge points.
Can someone tell me why I'm linking everything I hear here with cards, trading cards?
What?
Because
Huh?
you're
Wha-
addicted to Yu-Gi-Oh!
I hear nuke and I automatically think of Black Rose Dragon. Oops, never mind.
No.
Anyway,
But
Anyway.
with judge points, you get a judge point every time you get a judge point for killing someone. That also includes
Yes.
your opponent. Those judge points allow you to do different things. For Marsh, it is allowing you to do a combo, which will mostly always
Actually, every job class in game has a different combo
Yeah.
attack.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Moogles get the first Totema. The second Totema goes to the Bongas.
No, new moves.
Mumus, that's right. The third one, I'm not sure about.
I'll spill it from here. The third one goes to the Bongas. It's a Dramalak, which is cool because he is a field nuke. The fourth one goes to the Vieras, which I don't actually know, and then that leaves the fifth one going to the humans.
Which is probably
Right.
It's probably Ultima. I'm guessing it's gonna be Ultima.
I'm gonna guess it's Bahamut actually.
Ultima. Ultima is always better
Ultima
than-
is new moves though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's right. That was the derp. That's the second Totema.
That's
Spoiler.
the stupid mana. That's the stupid
Derp,
mana
derp, derp.
attack.
Speaking of
It's
which,
getting light out here.
Yes,
the
it is,
second
jeez.
Totema battle was really easy. Except, well, it was hard for me because they charm you every freaking time, and then it's like, lol, kill your teammates.
yeah.
Yeah. Gerda one-shot him because he overgrinded and made the game way too easy. But
And trying to get back on track here, another thing that I really like is, even though I'm not actually a fan of how the job system was implemented, every job has got so many different abilities that you can seriously diversify your grind and just test out literally every job's different abilities and see what works best for you.
some are really
For
terrible.
example, if you, yeah, some of the abilities are really freaking
Beastmaster.
terrible. Beastmaster.
No, sorry.
I kind of like
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster.
Sorry, Animist. I'm sorry, Animist.
No, Animist has got a few good abilities. For example, a sheep count and 100% wool are technically incredibly broken if you know what the hell you're doing with them. Sadly, they're more useful for your opponents than they are to you.
Same with like the Fencer class in a whole.
Yeah, the Fencer class and the Archer class also share this, although Hunters and Snipers don't actually have this. I find that Hunters and Snipers work better for you than they do for your opponents.
Yes,
not
that's
entirely sure how true that is yet, mind you, but I'm researching it. And even though I like the diverse skill sets that you actually have. For example, you would think that ninjas would just have the classic, oh, we get to throw things at them, or we can actually increase our steal chance or have dual wield. And while all those things are technically true, they also have their different elemental spells. Ninjas actually have ninjutsu in this game, and it's kind of cool.
That's the
Three
first.
sages pretty much have your basic elemental magic, but there's a class called Elementalist, which actually has elemental magic. So I don't exactly know where to put sages. It's really weird. You also have the Morphers, which I haven't actually tried out yet, but they sound like a cool concept. Huh. And Shadow has explained to us that there are later classes like Summoners and Illusionists get really freaking powerful. And I've seen a few of the summoner abilities of Inferno and Carbuncle.
Shiva.
I haven't seen Shiva actually used yet.
Yeah.
I've seen Infra and Carbuncle as learnable abilities, so I'm interested to see what those actually do. I know what Carbuncle does, but I want to see if Infra is actually a field.
Shiva was ridiculous. It two-shot me. I was like, oh my god, I healed you. Don't die. But they died anyway.
You have to say, for it being a Game Boy Advance game, they actually managed to cram a whole lot into
yes,
it.
They did.
There is a shitload of content.
I think I'm 13 hours in right now, and that's not even halfway through. And
yeah, there is easily 40 to 60 hours in this game.
There's so many different weapons and armors and jobs and everything, the abilities. It's just such a wide game for what you wouldn't expect in a GBA game.
True, but then again, a single player only game should have just a big single player.
GBA wasn't really any multiplayer. It was.
Oh, you are so wrong, Corb.
It wasn't online multiplayer, you derp. It had.
Of course, it wasn't online multiplayer.
It had play Pokemon with your best friend by using link cables, and then rage when your link cable moves half a.
Back in the times, internet was barely invented.
What? Jeez, where do you live that the internet was just barely created in like 2002?
5.
I know.
No, 5, wasn't it?
That the GBA came out? The GBA was like 2002-ish, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Tactics Advance is 05.
No, he's talking about online play, how the internet was just created in 2002.
Tactics Advance is 2003. I'm looking at the release date right now.
Destroyed, Gerdad. Get destroyed.
No, I have inaccurate information. So do you. Anyway.
Even though there was technically online gameplay prior to 2000.
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
We had Unreal Tournament.
Well, there was
99.
PC gaming. But
oh, yes.
Oh. Let's just leave alone internet issue.
Nintendo did unofficial online gaming prior.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo actually had a thing that you could connect with your phone to go online. But that's a totally different fucking issue.
The issue of that is, who in the right mind would want to play a Super Nintendo game online? Except maybe Mario Kart. Mario Kart would probably be
I would. I'd love to play Metal Warriors online.
Who cares what you want?
Anyway, I think we were talking about tactics.
Yeah.
Yes, we were at some point.
You guys always change the subject.
There are.
Just because I wasn't paying attention.
To actually have multiplayer features with this game. For example, if you actually get the link cable and have a friend that has Tactics Advance, you can actually trade over different cards, party members, and you might even be able to spar. I kind of doubt it, but you might. Okay. Although that would be really
I did
cool,
read something about that.
That'd be cool if you could play against your friends. That would take some. Well, no, because probably late game you probably get some ultimate. There's probably to be stuff changed in multiplayer because I could only imagine how broken the totems would be in a multiplayer battle.
First turn.
Did I hear just a bottle of wine?
Yeah,
apparently.
Why did it have to be wine?
That was Shadow opening up wine.
Second turn, Manga, use a drama lock. Third turn, Human, use whatever the hell he's gonna have. I'm gonna guess Bahamut.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really light out here right now.
Yes, we know. It's 6 a.m. over there. Yeesh.
No, that's not true. It's almost 5.
I was gonna say, but anyway.
Dude.
So what do you guys think overall?
I think it's a great game, and I think I'm actually going to finish this one after the podcast is over. Not finish it.
I do not know.
I want to finish this game. I really do. But I just don't know. I mean, I've got 4 of the 5 totema, and we've officially introduced another plot point, which is going to come back to bite the main characters in the ass. I know it is. Fucking spelled backwards name. Man.
I personally have no idea, because I still haven't played the game. Shame on me.
But yeah,
I might actually go and play it.
You should.
I have enjoyed my experience with this game as much as I thought I wasn't going to, because I have played a few of the other tactics titles, and I was like, I don't want to do this one, Cord. Why the hell do you pick this one?
I enjoyed my
No,
40
It's a
minutes.
lot of fun.
You mean your 10 minutes, Bert?
Shut up.
You got past the intro, Cord.
No,
You have to
no,
give credit for
no,
that.
no. He got
Yes.
past the intro twice. Let's fix it. He got past the intro twice, and then got 10 minutes into the game.
Honestly, I really hate mobile games. I'll just say it now.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Burke is just a butthurt scrub.
But yeah, for
Yes,
this
I
being a
have.
tactics game, it's a lot of fun.
Be nice,
I really
guys.
enjoyed this
Yeah.
title.
Yeah.
But Bert,
fun.
what's the problem? Final Fantasy VI wasn't a mobile game.
Yes, it was.
I bet.
Well, no, it wasn't, but
But nothing.
could be.
But nothing.
you know what? Once you get to the Shadow Nook fight, when you get to the Shadow Nook fight, come back to me.
Get at my
After
level,
you get your
bro. Get
ass
at my
handed.
level.
After you get handed your ass handed.
Now, I
Aw.
gotta say that I did in fact enjoy my experience with this game, and I may actually go back to finish it. But I have problems actually sitting down and playing it for multiple hours on end,
I have problems
because
with
it
Moot.
does get repetitive at times.
I hate how every time you get a Totema, Moot adds on like 50,000 more laws that you have to abide by, and then you get...
He only adds it. He so far only added 2 more law slots. Okay, I'm expecting the third one to happen when the plot device takes over.
I'm expecting that when you fight Judge Master Sid, he bans everything except for him.
Actually, Judge, I don't think you get to fight Judge Master Sid.
You don't?
According to the plot point that just happened with me, Judge Master Sid is legally gone.
Oh, God.
Tell us, Shadow, tell us.
So, everybody on a scale, I was about to say a grade, great. A scale 1 through 10, what would you rate this game, and would you recommend it to any viewers?
10. I recommend it to
shut
all.
Up, Burke. We're doing this in order. Cloud?
Well,
Oh, wait, you didn't play the game.
I honestly can't say how well the game plays. That's why I've been asking questions like, is there some things that are broken? Is it like just not fun to play?
It's fun to
You know.
play. It's fun to play in short periods
Increments.
of time. Yeah, increments.
Yeah, 1 to 2 hours at a time at most.
Yeah, if you start playing for 3 and 4 hours, you're gonna burn yourself out of it, and then you're gonna get to the point where you don't want to play it anymore. Which is a shame, because it actually does have the story does start getting very you want to see what's going to go on. You want to see what's going to happen.
I want to see what the hell happens with Ritz.
Don't spoil things. I want to play the game still.
I don't want to spoil it.
Go
for
on
you
with
guys
your
to
rating.
And before Shadow, just like in the end, everybody dies. Like, no.
They never return home.
Man, hey, Eric's on. Eric isn't logged on to Skype for so long.
But
I didn't know it.
Gerda, what would
I
you
don't
give
care.
the rating, and would you recommend it?
I would definitely recommend this game, but I would not recommend this game to everyone I know. I'm going to give this game between a 7.5 and an 8, because I can't really decide if one or the other,
Perfectionist.
because there are a lot of good things about this game, but a few of the downsides just are really glaring to me, and I'm having fun with it. I am, but I'm not having as much fun as what I was hoping for from a game picked out by Corb.
Hey, I could have picked an extremely long RPG. An extremely.
Yes, and we still would have
Yeah.
spent the week trying to know life it.
Yeah.
You asshole.
Yes. Never picking a game ever again.
Soon enough, we're just going to be going on to Google. What game should we play for our podcast, Google?
Let's pick our
Yahoo
viewers.
Answers.
Viewers,
E.T.
choose what game we play.
E.T. for the Atari 2600.
I thought it was my turn.
Well,
Well, actually, next it's gonna be either Cheese Cloud or Shadow. We're not sure.
I
who
don't
yet.
care because I'm not going to be here.
They will have a fight to the death over who gets to pick the game.
I want.
I have to might over the
Burke,
dairy, so I win.
Burke, what would you give the game? And would you recommend it? Oh, wait, you don't count.
Uh,
You didn't play it.
I played it
10 minutes.
10
a lot. I played a
10
lot.
minutes.
For the few minutes I played it.
Well, for the few minutes I played it, I'd say that it had great graphics, great sound, great story, great John Williams music. I would give it a 8 out of 10, and I would recommend it to all viewers 16 and under.
16
Wow.
in there.
16 nuggets.
So
What else?
How many viewers in that category
Oh.
category do we have?
And viewers who make money between 25,000 and 50,000 a year, and who have a 401k.
Okay,
That's
that's
what
What
I'm
would you
recommended
what would you give
That's a
the
pretty specific demographic.
Shadow? What would you give the game, and would you recommend it?
I'd actually give this one an 8 out of 10.
And would you recommend
I
it?
thought I definitely recommend this to people. I mean, it may start off a little slow,
Snowball fight.
but yeah,
Snowball
but
Fight.
it definitely does pick up, and the story really wants to grab you
That's-
and like take you through the story.
That's what really drew me off from it, though. At the beginning, like I was really about to say, I'll just watch videos on it. When I got to that snowball fight, the snowball fight just seems to drag on forever. Good thing I modded my actual Game Boy Advance to have a speed up feature, you know. So I just
He's
got,
not
I
do that,
just
Corb.
got to breeze right through that. But aside from that, I really enjoyed it. And I would personally
Why
recommend.
am I the only one willing to admit to piracy?
Jordan, shut up. Just shut up, you goddamn pirate.
I will mention that I actually own this game.
Shadow actually owns the game. I own it too. I
own it too.
I took a piece of plastic and wrote Final Fantasy Tactics Advance on it, so I now own the game.
I own the internet.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as well, and I would definitely recommend it. It has great graphics for a Game Boy Advance game.
Oh, you forgot me.
You didn't play the game.
Well, Cheese can still give it a rating.
Yeah,
Exactly.
what would you rate it,
Yeah,
Cheese?
so would you rate it.
I think it was just rated a 7 for having an epic name, and I actually watched a let's play from someone for like 2 minutes. That's a new record, I know, and it looks fun. He was kind of boring, his voice was, but it looks fun.
I thought you were
I'll
about
just
to
rate
give
it a
it.
7. I will just rate it a 7.
All right,
All right.
and
Now you guys, just for the record, you guys are giving it relatively low scores. GameSpot gave it an 8.2, which is great. Other reputable sources, I got 1.5 out of 5 from. I don't even know if they actually do video games, but that's what they gave it. I got 9s out of 10s. Lots of scores between 8 and 9.
I mean, I give it an 8 because I personally think it's a great game, and I can't give it a full rating yet because I haven't got, halfway through the game. If my computer goes into hibernation one more time, I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw it out the window. But
Do it.
from what I played, it's an 8 out of 10. I haven't gotten into a lot of the story yet, so I can't really judge it on its story. This is off of graphics, gameplay, and the little story I have played off of. Graphics, audio, gameplay, and the little story I have played. Once I actually finish it, it might be different. I'm not sure, but as of this moment, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, borderline 8.5 because it's pretty entertaining. I have to admit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might actually change my score to like an 8.5.
Because it is entertaining in increments, but in long times of playing it, you start to feel like, oh, I don't want to.
It's definitely a game made for the Game Boy Advance, though.
It's definitely a
Something
game made for the casual gamer. It's not like ultra hardcore.
I'm not gonna say it's made for casual gamers because there are difficulties that casual gamers will come up to and say, well, what the hell do I do?
But it is casual because even for a casual gamer, you will finally figure it out. You're like, okay, I just gotta level up a little more. That's fine. I can do that because there is no hardcore grinding in that game unless you want to be like Gerdat and freaking make the game so much easier by grinding 50 levels over that you have to be. But
Just by attacking your own
just
guys.
by
Yeah.
attacking your own unit like a scrub.
It's a viable strategy, man.
I'm changing my score.
I'm changing it
to Pi Side. Pi Side out of 10.
Pi
sign out of
3.14?
3.14 at
No, sorry,
Out of-
3.14.
1592654.
Oh, damn.
Actually, he meant
that's correct.
3-4 points.
yes.
We ramble too much at the end of these episodes. Ramble mode.
Who
It's the
cares?
most fun part.
Yes.
Whatever we want.
Yes, who cares? Screw our listeners.
We're just kidding. We love you
I
guys.
love
We-
you guys. Bert
we're joking.
will give complimentary hand jobs to you guys.
Yes, I will suck everyone's dick.
Except for the
good start
female
here.
listeners.
Yeah,
Especially you. What's that guy's name on that
Southpaw.
comments on videos? Southpaw. Especially you, Southpaw.
You
Come
want
here.
you want
Get
to
over
suck the dairy,
here.
don't you?
get over
Oh.
here.
Legendary.
So who's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be picking the next game for this week?
Me.
I think I
it's
might.
either Cheese, Cloud, or
I
Shadow.
think Shadow wants to.
I'm inspired, so someone else picks it.
All right, well, I think this has gone on long enough. We're all rambling now, and Burke's derpy picture is starting to get on my nerves.
Well,
What-
thank
What, do you want
for
to see my
listening.
picture again?
What
No.
derpy picture?
Derpy picture of Yugi.
You know what? You know what? Crymore, you had for the longest time that stupid picture of that black guy
But that's the
sucking
image.
on.
That's gonna be the image for
This has been
podcast.
Shadow Wolf.
Yes, do it, do it.
Okay.
Take my image instead. It's way more epic.
No,
Jeez,
it's
you
not.
haven't seen my image.
Cheese, you are a self-advertising little man whore.
Oh God.
Indeed, I am.
Well, this has been Corbenik.
This has been
Street.
Shadow Wolf.
This has been
Red
the Big
14.
Cheese.
This has been Over on Cloud 9.
Great, say again, because you talk right over cheese, you derp.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been Korskin.
Corskin.
Skin.
Anyway, that was Gerdat.
Yeah, that was
Skin.
Gordat.
Oh, should we go ahead and start my YouTube channel now?
Gordad 14.
And Burke wants
As a bonus update,
Oh,
Where's
God.
the Penguin Part 5 is officially
Stop
in production.
advertising, bro.
Gordad, shut up.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I don't have a Wii U. I am,
You.
guys. I'm soon gonna be posting my own Let's
No,
Plays.
he's not.
Yes, I
Are you
am.
serious?
If my computer doesn't explode.
But anyway, let's end this thing.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys talk.
Be safe,
about-
guys, and may you all know the name of the king.
Shut up, Gordad.
See you guys on the next episode.
Maybe.
Well,
Peace.
Well, we won't see you, but yeah. Bye.